the church is seldom more full than on Palm Sunday. It is a glorious feast. You get something when you come, whether a bay leaf or a palm cross, you get something, which always makes it easier for us to come. You know that everyone will be there. There are 1,000 reasons to come to the church, both to celebrate the feast for the Lord and to celebrate as a community together. There is an irony in this, because it was easy too for those who greeted the Lord on the first Palm Sunday 2,000 years ago to shout and to yell and to hold the palms high and to rejoice in the coming of the Lord. It is easy to join a mob, and when the mob is greeting the Lord, then it is a blessed and a wonderful thing. It becomes much harder when it is no longer a moment of celebration and it becomes a moment of tribulation, of suffering and shame. And too often it is easy for us to be present in the church for the happy times and absent for the more difficult times. And yet, the more difficult times are where we see the Lord deep in the filth of our fallen humanity. When we see the Lord joining himself to us, loving us, uniting his eternal life with our mortal life. It is in the suffering of the Lord that we find comfort. For our lives are not full only of joy and pleasure and happiness and fellowship. They are full of loss, of struggle, of toil and travail. And to stand with the Lord as he gives his back to the smiter, as he gives his cheek to be spat upon, as he accepts the crown of thorns, as he buckles beneath the weight of the cross, as he cries out in agony suspended on the cross, is to find comfort for ourselves in the midst of every sorrow, every trial, every problem we may have in life. For the Lord has surely borne our griefs and carried our infirmities. And the chastisement of our peace, as the prophet says, is upon him. So today we see him glorified. Let us not forget that our salvation comes not only from the Lord's glory on Palm Sunday and Anastasy, but from his suffering, from his uniting of himself with us in our suffering. And if we can see both, then we have the entirety of the Christian faith. We have the whole Christ as he gives himself a gift to us for comfort, for sustenance, for help in times of trouble, for salvation from every pain and grief that we may experience. So let us rejoice today. Always let us rejoice, and chronia pola to all of you, but let us rejoice because the Lord enters into Jerusalem in order to suffer, in order to die, in order to rise from the dead and lead us into everlasting life. Chronia pola, que kalayanastasi.